sparkled with a new fallen frost. It was midnight and not a soul was abroad. From the chimney of the courthouse, a greyhound of smoke leapt and chased the northwest wind. I carried a ladder to the landing of the stairs and leaned it against the frame of the trap door in the ceiling of the portico. I climbed under the roof and among the rafters and flung amongst the seasoned timbers a lighted handful of oil-soaked rags. I came down and slunk away, and in a little while, the fire bells rang, clang, 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 and the Spoon River Ladder Company came with a dozen buckets and began to pour water on the glorious bonfire, growing higher, hotter and hotter, until the walls fell in, and the limestone columns where Lincoln stood crashed like trees when a woodman fells them. When I came back from Joliet prison, there was a new courthouse with a dome. For I was punished like all those that destroy the past for the sake of the future.
Over and over they used to ask me, while buying the wine or the beer, first in Peoria, then Chicago, Denver, Bristol, wherever I lived, how I happened to lead a life, and what was the start of it. Well, I told them a silk dress and a promise of marriage from a rich man. It was Lucius Atherton. But that wasn't really it at all. Suppose a boy steals an apple from the tray at a grocery store, and all the people begin to call him a thief, wherever he goes. Thief, thief, thief. The editor?
Did you ever hear of Editor Wheaton giving to the public treasury any of the money he received for supporting candidates for office?
The minister?
Did you ever hear of Reverend Pete or Reverend Sibley giving any part of their salary earned by keeping still or speaking out as the leaders wished them to do to the public the building of waterworks?
The judge?
Did you ever hear of the circuit judge helping anyone but the Q Railroad and the bankers?
The little boy can't get work, and he can't get bread without stealing it. Why the little boy will steal? It's the way that people regard the theft of the apple that makes the little boy what he is.
And I, Daisy Fraser, who always passed along the street through rows of nods and words such as "there she goes," was never taken before Justice Arnott without contributing $10 to the school fund of Spoon River.
You would not believe, would you, that I came from good well stock, that I was purer-blooded than the white trash here, and of more direct lineage than the New Englanders and Virginians of Spoon River. You would not believe that I went to school and read some books. You saw me only as a run-down man with matted hair and beard. Here was I, a carpenter, mired in a bog of life, into which I walked thinking it was a meadow, with a slattern for a wife and poor Minerva my daughter, whom you tormented and drove to death. So I crept like a snail through the days of my life. No longer you hear my footstep resounding on hollow sidewalk going to the grocery store for a little cornmeal and a nickel's worth of bacon.
I am Minerva, the village poetess, hooted at, jeered at by the yahoos of the street for my heavy body, cockeye, and rolling walk. And all the more when Butch Weldy captured me after a brutal hunt. He left me to my fate with Dr. Myers, and I sank into death, growing numb from the feet up, like I'm stepping deeper and deeper into a stream of ice. Will someone go to the village newspaper and gather into a book the verses I wrote? I thirsted so for love. I hungered so for life.
No other man, unless it was Doc Hill, did more for the people in this town than I. And all the weak, the halt, the improvident, and those who could not pay flocked to me. I was good-hearted, easy Dr. Myers. I was healthy, happy, in comfortable fortune, blessed with a congenial mate, my children raised, doing well in the world. And then, one night Minerva, the poetess, came to me in her trouble, crying. I tried to help her out. She died. And they indicted me, and the newspapers disgraced me. My wife perished of a broken heart, and pneumonia finished me.
He protested all his life long. The newspapers lied about him villainously, that he was not at fault for Minerva's fall, but only tried to help her. Poor soul, so sunk in sin, he could not see that even trying to help her, as he called it, he had broken the law, human and divine. Passers-by, an ancient admonition to you. If your ways would be ways of pleasantness, and all your pathways peace, love God and keep his commandments.
secret of the seed, the germ, the secret of man, the sower, the secret of woman.
I loathed her as a termagant, as a wanton. I knew of her adulteries, every one. But if I were to divorce her, I must forsake my ministries. Therefore, to do God's work and have it crop, I bore with her. So lied I to myself. So lied I to Spoon River. Yet I tried lecturing, running for legislature, canvass for books, with one thought in mind. If I make money thus, I will divorce her.
I was Willie Metcalf.